G'day, welcome to the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news that happened during the week September 17th to September 23rd, 2010. It's been a big news week this week, so let's jump straight into the movie news, where Warner Brothers released a number of preview clips from Superman Batman Apocalypse, the new direct-to-DVD animated movie. One clip showed us Kara's first confusing moments on Earth, another depicts the arrival of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman and Bada in Apocalypse, and the not-so-welcoming committee that greets the quartet of heroes, while Summer Glau, the voice of Supergirl, introduced another clip which shows us Kara Zor-El's first meeting with her cousin Kal-El. Rennie Cowan attended the September 21st LA premiere of Superman Batman Apocalypse on behalf of the Superman homepage and managed to snag some red carpet interviews with the cast and crew. Executive producer Bruce Timm gave us an insight into the film and a bit about what his next project will be. Rennie also spoke with Tab Murphy, scriptwriter for the film, and Susan Eisenberg, the voice of Wonder Woman, while Tim Daly spoke about reprising the role of Superman, the differences between his Superman and Clark Kent portrayals, and what it's like to work with Kevin Conroy. Superman homepage staff writer Jeffrey Bridges submitted his advance review of Superman Batman Apocalypse and wasn't too impressed. He said, "If you only watch the last 20 minutes of this movie, you'll probably come away thinking it's awesome and entertaining and a fine piece of entertainment. Having seen the movie myself, however, I actually enjoyed it, and if I was asked to give a rating, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. All-Star Superman has been confirmed as the 10th film in the DC Entertainment direct-to-DVD animated features. MTV.com gave us our first look at the trailer to All-Star Superman, which is scheduled for release in 2011. Based on Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's celebrated 12-issue All-Star Superman series, the animated movie will feature Desperate Housewives actor James Denton as the voice of the Man of Steel, Mad Men actress Christina Hendricks as Lois Lane, and Without a Trace leading man Anthony LaPaglia as Lex Luthor. Superman the movie will be projected on a dam in the United Kingdom as part of the Branchage Jersey Film Festival on Saturday, September 25th at 8:30 p.m. The film will be shown on what would have been Christopher Reeve's 58th birthday. The film will be shown at the Val de la Mar Reservoir with the film projected onto the dam and sound broadcast to car radios. Actor John Hamm followed up on his statement last week on Live with Regis and Kelly that he hadn't been approached to play Superman, with his belief he's too old for the role. He said, "I don't know, I think unless Superman's power was the power of being really old, I may be aged out of that competition." In TV news, Lazarus, the first episode of Season 10 of Smallville, airs tonight, Friday, September 24th at 8 p.m. on the CW. The season premiere picks up where the finale left off. Lois finds Clark's lifeless body and removes the blue kryptonite, enabling him to heal himself. Lois sneaks away before Clark fully awakens in order to protect his secret. Chloe is desperate to find Oliver, so she turns to an unlikely source for answers. And Jonathan returns to the Kent farm with a message for Clark, and Tess awakens in a Luthor Corp lab. Look for our episode summary and reviews in the days following this episode. The biggest Smallville Season 10 news of the week was the revelation that Terry Hatcher has been cast in the role of Lois Lane's mother. Ella Lane, now deceased, will be seen via videotape messages she left behind for her daughter, which Lois will find during the 8th episode of Season 10 titled Abandoned. The CW released 2 more CW Connect video interviews for this season. One of them was with Cassidy Freeman, who spoke about her role and what Tess Mercer will be doing this year. The other interview was with Laura Vandervoort, who spoke about returning to the role of Supergirl. Speaking of Supergirl, the CW released the full spoiler-filled description for the 3rd episode of Season 10, which is titled Supergirl. In this episode, Clark is stunned when Kara returns to Earth and tells him Jor-El sent her to stop the dark force that is coming because he doesn't believe Clark can handle it. Supergirl is scheduled to air on the CW on Friday, October 8th. KryptonSite.com also published an interview with Cassidy Freeman in which she said, "I feel like this season is more of a setup for what's to come after in our imaginations and the movies that we've seen and the shows that have already been done, so it's like a really beautiful launching pad of a season." TVGuide.com caught up with Smallville executive producer Kelly Souders and asked her all about the 10th and final season of Smallville. In regard to it being the final season, she said, "I think we feel like it's been such an amazing and long run that we don't want to hold anything back." Lindsay Hartley, the wife of Justin Hartley who plays Green Arrow, has been cast in a role for an upcoming episode of Smallville. Executive producer Kelly Souders revealed that Lindsay's character is a woman who takes matters into her own hands, and those hands are wickedly dangerous. Lindsay Hartley will appear in the 8th episode of Season 10 titled Abandoned. Erica Durant appeared on LA's KROQ radio morning program on September 22nd to talk about the 10th and final season of the show. You can listen to the 7-minute interview online. Batman the Brave and the Bold returned with new episodes this week on Cartoon Network. According to io9.com, there are 28 new episodes set to air, and 2 of those episodes will feature Superman. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing episodes from the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series. Come check out his review of the Season 3 episode The Lucky Cat, in which Clark and Jimmy check out the Anti-Superstition Club. We got our first look at Chloe Sullivan's long-awaited official comic book debut within the pages of Action Comics this week. Chloe makes her first comic book appearance in issue 893, on sale September 29th. She's a very successful and dedicated reporter and a major player in Metropolis, says Nick Spencer, who is writing the story, with art by R.B. Silver. You can check out a 10-page sneak peek of Action Comics 893 at Comixology.com. Newsarama.com caught up with writer Nick Spencer to ask him about introducing Chloe Sullivan to the comic book world, and he said, "She's the same strong-willed, funny and fearless girl people know and love from the show." DC Comics released their December 2010 solicitations this week. We highlighted for you all the Superman comics and products to be released in those solicitations. Of special note was Action Comics Annual number 13, the return to the DC 1 million era in Superman Batman number 79, and a second issue of the new Superboy title. DC's The Source blog gave us a few details surrounding Superman 704. In this comic, Lois Lane visits the town where she went to college in anticipation of Superman's arrival. When she runs into an old boyfriend and sees the nice normal family he has, Lois can't help but examine the choices she made and wonder if they were the correct ones. Superman 704 hits shelves on October 13th. There were no new Superman comics to review this week, but Charlie Niemeyer did look back to June 1971 to review Jimmy Olsen 138, which concluded the Jack Kirby story involving Jimmy and the Newsboys. Superman comics shipping this week from September 22nd include Justice League of America number 49, which is available in an alternate cover, Supergirl number 56, Superman Batman number 76, and World's Greatest Superheroes trade paperback. In other news, it was announced this week that DC Entertainment, as part of its ongoing strategy to integrate the DC Comics business brand and characters into Warner Bros. Entertainment's content and distribution operations, will relocate its business functions related to and supporting multimedia and digital content production to Burbank, California. DC's publishing operations will remain in New York. DC's Jim Lee sits down with Blur Studios' Tim Miller, who directed the 6-minute trailer for DC Universe Online, the upcoming MMO role-playing game set for release on November 2nd. The two sit down and go through the trailer scene by scene. It's quite amazing. That's all the Superman news there was for the week September 17th to September 23rd. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Welcome to Bailey Planet. So, I was the co-editor with Barry for about a month of the site while Steve was away, and I figured I might as well comment on that because that was something. Yeah, I had to do a lot more banninating than I usually do, and I don't know if that's because Steve was away or because people are usually banninated while in ways that you don't see. But I think the most disturbing thing I took from it was the sheer ferocity of people in the comments section and how much, since I'd stepped away for a while, how brutal it kind of gets. The typical response when someone says something like, "Oh, you're a poo-poo head," and then the mod writes it and says, No, you can't call people a poo-poo head. See, that's not civilized behavior. The response is, "I have the right to it, how dare you?" Not realizing, that's the best way to get banned. It always just amazes me, the way that people kind of feel the right to be an anonymous. An anonymous word that rhymes with stick. But anyway, the point of this being, as ever, and I've made this comment many, many times, please try to be civilized in the comments and recognize the difference between a pithy comment and a cynical, sarcastic, cut-to-the-bone comment. Please recognize the difference between making a comment about the news story and making a comment about the person who commented before you that tells them that their mother wears combat boots. You don't need to address other people in order to prove your point. And in fact, it undermines your point because it shows that you're trying to attack a person in particular, not the idea that they represent. Even if I said, I think that people should be killed for having blue shirts, you say, Neal, you shouldn't think that people should be killed for having blue shirts. It doesn't make as much of an impact as saying, you know what? People with blue shirts are just as good as people with red shirts, and I've known both, and both of them are really, really cool. It's the people with green shirts that need to die, you know? And that takes the emphasis off of you being personally vitriolic and puts more emphasis onto your idea. And if you write well, and if you write in a compelling way, you won't bear that burden of being banned, you know, or of basically being vindictive. It seems to be so common on message boards. It gets to the point where you even have to send warnings that shouldn't be that shouldn't need to be sent. It's just kind of sad because I know that people are smarter than this. They just don't act like it the minute that anonymity is put in place. So I also learned that Steve has a very, very tough job. He has a very, very tough job. I'm just a schmucky writer, and he has to comb many, many links every day. I mean, I've substituted before, but never for that long. So you guys owe him some damn respect and props. Oh, God, it's a hard, hard, hard job. So, yeah, here's to Steve.